It is really a special honor and privilege to be part of the 75th anniversary of the Human Rights Declaration celebrations with you all in your wonderful city of Alenquer, which has played a preponderant role in every era at every moment in the history of Portugal. I would also like to say that we are crowning, as mentioned by our host, 2 years of inspirational collaboration with financing from the EEA grants and support from Gulbenkian Foundation with a focus on human rights. And I would like to say that after a very intensive day yesterday, I really feel that when I come back to Norway, I can explain to my colleagues and all the people who have supported this project that there could be no better and more worthy host of a conference on human rights, because there is so much empathy and passion and inspiration and creativity that in our very and everyday more and more complicated world, it is very difficult to find any other entity or organization or small ecosystem that I experienced that has this affinity. And even more interesting, that just after a few hours of discussion with you personally and with your colleagues, that it is so fascinating to see that Portuguese, Scandinavians, Portuguese, Swedish contacts, for example, still are so lively after several hundred years of history, or even more. So, coming to our agenda, I would say that although we celebrate the 75th anniversary of human rights, today it is actually not more than a quarter century, so 28 years and 62 days ago, on the 5th of September 1995, that First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton spoke on the UN Fourth World Conference on Women in Beijing. And I'm sure that at least the female participants remember when she said, women rights are human rights, and human rights are women's rights. And this was, for me personally, because I was already in the age of a young grown-up, a speech that has really lasting effects on the empowerment of women and girls all around the world. In spite of considerable progress achieved in global struggle for equal rights, the success of worldwide suffrage campaigns to the rise of Me Too in the present days and in the digital activism, we have marched relatively slowly forward. Today, if I formulate myself in the old-fashioned way, I would say that the fight for gender equality is far from over. But if I formulate myself in a new way, then I would really like to say that we have good news and we have also new approaches. So as representing European Center for Women and Technology, I would like to focus my presentation on a very special perspective, and this is how technology and digital transformation are shaping diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and vice versa, and also why it is important to exercise the art of, this is my new Bible, the art of active allyship, for giving a positive impact on the future of jobs and on the empowerment of women, but also on the empowerment of a more people in a more inclusive society. So just to say a few words about the author of what I call the new Bible for all of us right now is a young researcher from originally Singapore, Professor Dr. Purnima Luthra, and she is since 8 years back at Copenhagen Business School as a guest professor, and she has been ranked as a radar thinker among Thinkers 50, and also the book of The Art of Active Allyship is among the 10 best new management books for 2023. And she is a very inspirational speaker, and I will refer to several of her concepts and also the event where we have the pleasure to interact with her since 2022 annually in Oslo, in an event where I definitely hope that we will meet later on, several of you. From the perspective of this new approach, I would like to say that from the women perspective, actually the three key issues for enhancing empowerment are learning, labor, and leadership. From the perspective of the employers and the labor market, we know and we have the diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies of the businesses, which confirm that employers that adapt diversity in the workforce are 2 times as likely to achieve financial targets than the ones that do not apply this. They are 6 times more likely to be agile and innovative, and they are 8 times more likely to achieve better business outcomes. In regard to the 2 dimensions of interest for us today, I would say the key emphasis is on the value placed on diversity. So to what extent the leader believes in the need for diversity in the organization. But what is even more important is this concept of allyship. So not just the knowledge about diversity, but the practice of the leader supporting diverse individuals and groups in the area of social justice, human rights, and inclusion. Magic works. Okay. So what is the interesting in the approaches related to this broader concept of diversity, equity, inclusion, and the concept of active allyship is actually starting with a definition of diversity that is much more complex and relating to 12 different areas of diversity.
Fantastic.
Yes. Okay. To which the business leaders of today are scrutinized in regard to living up and to what extent. Diversity is any dimension that can be used to differentiate groups and people from one another. In a nutshell, it's about empowering by respecting and appreciating what makes them different in terms of age, gender, ethnicity, religion, disability, sexual orientation, education, or national origin. But the question is really, what power can diversity bring to the organization? And diversity in this broader concept encompasses the range of human differences, including but not limited to this age, gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status. So when organizations really and truly actively embrace diversity, they invite many perspectives to the table. Now I would also like to link this concept to how inclusion can foster a sense of belonging. And it is actually the key to unlocking the benefits of diversity and equity. And an inclusive environment is one where everyone feels valued, respected, and has a sense of belonging. For women, inclusion means creating workplaces where their voices are heard and their contributions are recognized. It involves dismantling of biases and stereotypes that can hinder their progress. Inclusive organizations actively seek out and amplify women's perspective, making them integral to decision-making processes. In regard to the question of biases, we have to remember that practically, if you have a brain, you have also biases. But the interesting thing is that you get every second 11 million of influences. And the question is really which one you select and how you select. So, sorry, now it's, here we go. So, I would say that if we think what is happening when knowledge comes in the door, and in terms of biases, I think the key word here is really fear. Fear and superstition that flies out when this door opens. So the number of biases are endless in the sense that they can be conscious or unconscious, they can be individual, they can be collective, they can be systematic, but in every way we have to immediately take a stand as to how we react to them. And this stand taking is related to this new concept of allyship. And this means in reality that allyship, you can relate to allyship in 3 different stages. So you can either deny it, you can be passive, or you can be active when you make your choices. But it relates to 3 essential things, and this is knowledge, attitude, and behavior. So in regard to knowledge, you have to have an understanding of the need for and the issue for surrounding diversity and inclusion. In regard to the attitudes, you have the right attitude towards making workplaces more inclusive for all, or if you are aware of all the biases, and also the biases not just you have, but also the biases that others have. And in relation to behavior, it means demonstrating frequent and consistent actions that nurture an inclusive culture in the workplace or in your surrounding. In regard to allyship, actually, the overall picture is much more concrete, and there are different possibilities of leadership types that you get according to how they relate to diversity values, but also how they relate to actively taking a stand in relation to the biases. So practically, for example, a homogeneous leadership means a leader who values homogeneity or certain limited dimensions of diversity, and does just a little to engage with the group and to take a stand concerning diversity and inclusion. And for example, pluralistic leadership means at the same time a leader who values diversity and lets diverse groups exist in as separate entities, and supports the now I'm off. Supports the organization and the team who does engage in the diversity and inclusion process. Mm-hmm. Now, finally, I would like to say, and even show to you, and if it allows me, one thing. In Oslo, as I mentioned to you in the beginning, since 2022, we have an annual event called Diversity Nordic Summit. This is from the perspective of intersectionality, the most intersectional conference as judged by the global DI community and confirmed also by the number of participants increasing from 2,500 to 8,000 in 2 years. This is a hybrid event, so practically the physical participant number is around 800 to 1,000 people, and the others are globally coming from all around the world. And this event is hosted in connection with Oslo Innovation Week. So the whole week is trying to enforce and test and embed a different type of new concepts in the innovation environment. So if you want to interact with creative people and learn more about diversity, equity, inclusion, then this is definitely a new fora where you are very warmly welcome. And I would like to mention also that as for next year's event, the agenda of the conference has been extended to include also democracy and freedom, apart from the four thematic focus areas we have had until now: climate, energy, and ESG, leadership, governance and policy, people, talent and culture, and last but not least, technology, innovation and investments. And finally, I would like to say that by breaking down barriers and creating an inclusive environment, we empower women. We empower also all people so that they can deliver their full potential in their workforce and contribute to a brighter and more equitable future for all. As we strive for a world where everyone is valued and empowered, the journey towards diversity, equity, and inclusion remains one of our greatest aspirations. Thank you.